Dear students, welcome to the course of Financial Management. I am your course instructor Shahzad Durrani, lecturer at the Institute of Business Studies, KUST Hango campus. Today our topic is financial market and financial institutions. This is the outline for our today's lecture. I have divided the lecture into two parts. Part 1, financial market. Part 2, financial institutions. In today's lecture, we will try to cover part 1, financial market. So let's start. Overview of the financial system. In today's lecture, we will try to learn and understand the financial system. So for this, we need to understand two subheads of the financial system: financial market and financial institutions. Then we will try to learn and understand the structure of the financial market. So for this, we need to understand its subheads, which are debt versus equity market, primary versus secondary market, exchange versus over the counter, and money versus capital market. Financial system. Financial system, by definition, it is a framework for describing set of markets. ये एक ऐसा फ्रेमवर्क होता है जो कि जाहिर करता है किस चीज़ को, set of markets. There are different markets or set of market that exist in the financial system. Organizations are present in the financial system and individuals. What they are doing, the organization, the markets and the individual that engage in the transaction, जो कि engage रहते हैं transaction में, लेन देन में, of financial instruments. What is financial instruments? Financial instruments means securities. Security means what? Security means bonds, shares and debentures. इसकी क्या होती है? Trading होती है. कहाँ पर? फाइनेंशियल मार्केट में. और ये जगह हम इसे क्या कहते हैं? सिस्टम को फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम, एज वेल एज रेगुलेटरी इंस्टीट्यूशंस. और यहाँ पर क्या मौजूद होता है? रेगुलेटरी इंस्टीट्यूशंस, रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज दैट दे आर ट्राइंग टू इम्पोज और regulate all the rules and regulations that are necessary to operate the business in the financial market. अच्छा, तो बेसिक रोल क्या है फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम का? बेसिक रोल क्या है? Channeling of funds within the different units of the economy. In the economy, we have basically two types of units. One is called surplus units, one is called deficit units, right? और financial system क्या करता है? इसको channeling करता है, channeling of funds from the surplus to the deficit units, right? So surplus units means participant who receive more money than they spent. वो लोग जिनके पास पैसे ज़्यादा होते हैं और उनका खर्च कम होता है. It means that they are the savers. So they, such as investors, ये क्या करते हैं? पैसे को क्या करते हैं? इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं. Then we have the deficit unit. Participants who spend more money than they receive. जितना पैसा उसके पास आता है, यानी उसकी कमाई होती है, उससे ज़्यादा वो खर्च करते हैं, such as borrowers. So they need money. Okay, now what is financial market? Financial market, a market which perform the essential function of channeling funds from economic players. Economic players कौन है? Surplus units and the deficit units, right? The investor and the borrowers. मार्केट वो जगह होती है जहाँ पर ये लोग ट्रांजैक्शन करते हैं, जहाँ पर ये लोग डीलिंग करते हैं. That place is actually called a financial market. At any point in time in an economy, there are individuals or organizations with excess amount of funds. जिनके पास क्या होता है? पैसे ज़्यादा होते हैं. And others with a lack of funds they need, for example, to consume or to invest. जिनके पास पैसे ज़्यादा होते हैं, जो पैसे इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं. So the surplus units, those who have the money, they are providing money to them. So those who have the excess amount of funds, they are called the lenders, and those who need fund, they are called the borrowers in the financial market. So in the financial market, we have the lenders and the borrowers. In the financial market, there exists two different forms of exchange in financial market. There are different exchange that are present. The first one is direct finance. फाइनेंशियल मार्केट में दो तरह की इन्वेस्टमेंट हो सकती है. वन इज कॉल्ड डायरेक्ट फाइनेंस, द अदर इज कॉल्ड इनडायरेक्ट फाइनेंस. एक होती है डायरेक्ट फाइनेंस, एक होती है इनडायरेक्ट फाइनेंस. डायरेक्ट फाइनेंस में क्या होता है? इन विच लैंडर्स एंड बोरोवर्स मीट डायरेक्टली टू एक्सचेंज सिक्योरिटीज. जहाँ पर बोरोवर एंड लैंडर मिलते हैं डायरेक्टली, लाइक देयर आर नो इंटरमीडियरीज इन्वॉल्व, देयर इज नो bank, there is no third party, there is no other agent involved between them. अच्छा, ये ट्रेडिंग किस चीज़ की करते हैं? सिक्योरिटीज़. व्हाट आर सिक्योरिटीज़? सिक्योरिटीज़ आर क्लेम ऑन द borrower's फ्यूचर इनकम और एसेट्स. क्लियर? सिक्योरिटीज़ क्या होती है? ये वो क्लेम है, ये वो दावा है ऑन द बोरोवर्स फ्यूचर इनकम और एसेट्स. जिस बंदे ने आपसे पैसे लिए हैं खर्च के तौर पर, उसकी फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल उसके जो पास जो असासजात है या उसकी जो कमाई है उस पर आपका दावा है. क्लियर? सो इट मीन दैट सिक्योरिटी इज़ बैक बाय समथिंग. सिक्योरिटी इज़ बैक बाय सम एसेट्स. Security is backed by something. Clear? Common example are stock, bonds, or foreign exchange. These are the examples of the securities. What is bond? What is stock? Stock is also called share. What is foreign exchange? We will discuss these topics in details later on. The second type of financial trade occurs with the help of financial intermediaries and is known as indirect finance. अब जहाँ पर intermediaries नहीं है वो तो direct finance हो गई. जहाँ पर intermediaries involve है, जैसा कि बैंक हो गया, commercial banks etc., और कोई agent वगैरह हो गया, so this is called indirect finance. क्या कहते हैं इसे? Indirect finance. In this scenario, borrowers and lender never meet directly, but lenders provide funds to a financial intermediary such as bank, and those intermediaries independently pass these funds on to the borrowers. यानी बैंक के थ्रू फॉर एग्जांपल डीलिंग होती है या किसी एजेंट के थ्रू डीलिंग होती है और वो जो है वो borrower को फंड ट्रांसफ़र करता है which is backed by some securities. This is the overview of the whole financial system, how the flow of funds occur through the financial system. So if you look in the financial system, we have the lender, or you can call it the saver, which are the households, जो घरेलू जो वो होते हैं, business firms, we have the business firms too, the government, that can be the saver as well, वो भी पैसे जमा कर सकते हैं, the foreigners, like for example अगर कोई foreigner investment करना चाहता है, they have some amount of money. अगर ये direct finance है तो कहाँ पर आएगा? financial market. financial market में direct कौन लोग होते हैं? When we were talking about the financial system, so we were saying there are individuals, there are institutions, there are set of markets. So कहाँ पर आते हैं? वो market में आते हैं. market का नाम क्या होता है? financial market. financial market में कौन मौजूद है? There are business firms, there is government, there are households, and there are foreigners, and then they can negotiate. There is a transaction between them, and they can invest the money. दूसरी जो इन्वेस्टमेंट होती है दैट इज कॉल्ड इनडायरेक्ट फाइनेंस. इनडायरेक्ट फाइनेंस किस चीज़ के थ्रू है? अगर आप ऊपर देख ले थ्रू दैट ऑरेंज लाइन, financial intermediaries, there are financial intermediaries as well. Intermediaries for example बैंक के थ्रू ये लोग क्या करते हैं? इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहते हैं, तो यहाँ पर थर्ड पार्टी इन्वॉल्व है. थर्ड पार्टी are going to help them, and then they can invest the money in the different securities. The next topic is structure of financial market. So what is the structure of the financial market? Financial structure or financial market structure can be categorized as follows: debt versus equity market, primary versus secondary market, exchange versus over the counter, money versus capital market. So what is debt market or debt versus equity market? So first we will try to uh, learn and understand debt market. Financial markets are split into debt and equity markets. एक होती है, एक को हम कहते हैं डेट मार्केट, एक को हम कहते हैं इक्विटी मार्केट. अब डेट मार्केट क्या चीज़ है या डेट सिक्योरिटीज़ क्या चीज़ होती है? डेट टाइटल्स आर द मोस्ट कॉमनली ट्रेडेड सिक्योरिटीज़. सबसे ज़्यादा जिस चीज़ की ट्रेडिंग होती है वो क्या होती है? डेट सिक्योरिटीज़. Clear? In these arrangements, the issuer of the title, borrower, earns some initial amount of money, such as the price of a bond, and the holder, जिसके पास होता है, subsequently receive a fixed amount of payments over a specific period of time. एक बंदा कौन है? बोरोवर है, जिसको पैसों की ज़रूरत है. द अदर पर्सन इज़ ए लेंडर who is going to provide that money. Clear? And he will subsequently receive a fixed amount of payments over a specified period of time. And that person, the borrower, will pay the amount back to the lender over a specific period of time with a certain amount of interest. Known as the maturity of a debt title, और इस interest को हम फिर क्या कहते हैं? Maturity of a debt title. The holder of a debt title does not achieve ownership of the borrower's enterprise. अच्छा, शेयर और बॉन्ड में यही फ़र्क है कि शेयर जो होता है उसके पीछे ओनरशिप होती है, जबकि बॉन्ड के पीछे ओनरशिप नहीं होती है. क्लियर? द होल्डर ऑफ अ डेट टाइटल डज नॉट अचीव ओनरशिप ऑफ द बोरोवर्स enterprise. He is not the owner actually of the enterprise. Clear? Yes, he can collect the same amount of money with interest after a specific period of time. Common debt titles are bond और mortgages. Mortgages और bond जो है इसके example है. अच्छा, bond की जो maturity होती है, for example, that can be for short period of time, or that can be long term maturity भी हो सकती है, or that can be intermediate maturity. Maturity हमारे पास 3 किस्म की है. Short term maturity, that is less than 1 year. Long term maturity, that is more than 10 years. More than 10 years, right? और intermediate maturity जो हमारी पास होती है, that is more than 1 year but less than 10 years. Clear? So that's called intermediate maturity. Short term maturity is less than 1 year, and long term maturity is more than 10 years. Acha. Now equity market. Equity titles are somewhat different from bonds. ये different होती है bonds से. The most common equity title is common stock, जो कि shares है. उसके पीछे क्या होती है? Ownership होती है. Bond के पीछे it is not backed by what? By the ownership, the bond, but stock is actually backed by the ownership. First and foremost, an equity instrument make its buyer, lender, and owner of the borrower's enterprise. You are actually the owner of the enterprise. You have a share. If you have, for example, if you have a share, so actually you represent ownership of that company. Formally, this entitles the holder of an equity instrument to earn a share of the borrower's enterprise income. और वहाँ से जो कमाई होती है उस कंपनी से, so you have a part in it. You will receive, for example, there is certain percentage that you will get from that income that the company or the enterprise is earning, so you will get that fixed percentage out of it. Equity titles do not expire and the maturity is thus infinite. इक्विटी जो होती है वो एक्सपायर नहीं होती, इसकी कोई एक्सपायरी डेट नहीं होती, एंड इट्स ट्रांसफरेबल, और ये जो है ट्रांसफ़र हो सकती है फ्रॉम वन पर्सन टू अनदर, फ्रॉम वन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन टू अनदर, हेंस दे आर कंसिडर्ड लॉन्ग टर्म सिक्योरिटीज़ एंड नॉर्मली वी कंसिडर दैम लॉन्ग टर्म सिक्योरिटीज़, यानी जिसकी मैच्योरिटी मोर देन 10 ईयर्स होती है। अच्छा, हमारे पास मार्केट का जो स्ट्रक्चर है, दूसरा जो अहम पार्ट है उसका, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड प्राइमरी मार्केट एंड सेकेंडरी मार्केट. सो financial markets are divided into primary and secondary market. Primary market क्या होती है? Primary markets are markets in which financial instruments are newly issued by borrowers. Clear? ये क्या होती है? Newly issued होती है by borrowers. Clear? जो for example borrowers they need money and some people they want to invest the money. जो newly securities होती है, जो बिल्कुल नई इशू हुए होते हैं, so that's actually you need to issue that in the primary market. Secondary market are markets in which financial instruments already in existence are traded among lenders. जो already existing security होती है, जो पहले से मौजूद होती है मार्केट्स में. So for example you are going there और एक के पास मौजूद है, they just want to transfer the ownership and you are going to buy it, that's called the secondary market. So secondary markets can be organized as exchanges. से क्या कहते हैं? Organized as exchanges in which title are traded in a central location. ये एक central location भी हो सकती है, such as stock exchange. You can call it a secondary market, or alternative as over the counter market, or over the counter market is also a secondary market in which titles are sold in several locations. Like it's not centralized, like stock exchange, it's centralized. It's the example of this centralized one. Over the counter, like there are several locations present there and you can buy the securities or you can sell your securities. Then we have the money market and the capital market. Money markets are markets in which only short-term debt titles are traded. Short-term debt, जिसकी मैच्योरिटी क्या होती है? लेस देन 1 ईयर होती है. इसे हम क्या कहते हैं? मनी मार्केट कहते हैं. मनी मार्केट आर मार्केट इन विच ओनली शॉर्ट टर्म डेट टाइटल्स आर ट्रेडेड, यानी सिर्फ वो सिक्योरिटी ट्रेड की जाती है जिसकी मैच्योरिटी लेस देन 1 ईयर है. कैपिटल मार्केट्स आर मार्केट इन विच लॉन्गर टर्म डेट एंड इक्विटी इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स आर ट्रेडेड, यानी वो जिसकी सिक्योरिटी 1 साल से ज़्यादा है. क्लियर? 1 साल से ज़्यादा है या 10 साल से ज़्यादा है, वो सिक्योरिटीज़ जो है कैपिटल मार्केट में ट्रेड होती है. This is the summary of our today's lecture. We understand and we talked about the financial system, the financial market, some of the financial institutions. We understand and learn about the structure of the financial market, debt versus equity market, primary versus secondary market, exchange versus over the counter, money versus capital market. These are the references that I use while making these slides. Thank you so much.